أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. We thank Allah for keeping us till today. I greet every one of you by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you? How are your younger ones at home? I pray to Almighty Allah to be with every one of us. Today we are going to look at sexual reproduction. Don't forget, in the last lesson we discussed asexual reproduction, and then I made you to understand that in asexual reproduction only one organism is involved, but in sexual reproduction it is a type of reproduction which involves fusion of male and female gametes, which is otherwise known as sex cell, to form zygote that later develops to a young individual or offspring. Offspring are formed from fusion of different cells from different parents. What we are trying to say in this sense is that in sexual reproduction, we have two different organisms, a male and a female organism. Each of them releases sex cell or gamete, which fuses together and form what we refer to as zygote. And this zygote develops into a new individual or organism. And we say sexual reproduction has taken place. So it involves two organisms, a male and a female organism. Now, we have two types of sexual reproduction. We have conjugation and we have fission of gamete. What do you mean by conjugation? It is a process by which nuclear materials are passed from one cell to another. That means we have two different cells in which the nuclear material of both of them fuses together. So the nuclear material moves from one cell to the other, which fuses together to form zygote or zygospore. So it occurs in organisms such as mucor, rhizopods, paramecium, spirogyra, etc. So today we are going to look at conjugation in spirogyra as an example of conjugation in organism. This conjugation involves various stages. The first stage in conjugation, it is a process by which two organisms lie side by side. Two of them lie side by side. I say conjugation starts with two filaments called conjugates lying side by side. Don't forget that spirogyra is a filamentous organism. So two of these filamentous organisms lie side by side, and at that particular time we refer to them as conjugates. The next stage involves a lateral outgrowth that grows out of the opposite, that grows or develops up at the opposite end of each of them towards one another. There's an outgrowth from both of them which link to one another. This outgrowth will later meet, and the separating wall will dissolve. That is, the cell wall that separated them will dissolve, and this will form a continuous channel, which is referred to as a conjugation tube. The channel being formed as a result of the fact that the separating wall has dissolved, and it now forms a tube towards one another, or a channel or a pathway which lead one cell to the other. So this pathway is called a conjugation tube. After this, the cytoplasm in each of these cells will shrink. The cytoplasm inside each of these cells will shrink to form gamete. When this gamete is formed in each of them, one of them will be referred to as male gamete, while the other one will be referred to as female gamete. Then the male gamete will now migrate, that is, the nuclear material or the gamete in the male conjugate will migrate to the female conjugate through the conjugation tube. When it reaches the female conjugate, then there will be fusion of this gamete. That is, the gamete and the nuclear material of both of them will fuse together to form zygote or zygospore. The zygospore will later germinate and a new filamentous organism will be formed. So on your screen you can see the diagram of what we are seeing. Can you see the two filamentous organisms, that is two spirogyra, lying side by side, which later we have the lateral outgrowth, which forms on the adjacent cell of each of them. So you can see the outgrowth that has reached both of them. Both of them have grown and outgrowth towards one another. Later, the separating wall will dissolve, and there will be, it will now form a channel or a pathway that will link both of them together. And that channel is referred to as conjugation tube. Now you can see the conjugation tube, and then after this, then the male gamete from the male conjugate will move to the female gamete inside the female conjugate. You can see the male gamete moving to the female gamete inside the female conjugate. And this will fuse together. Both of them will fuse together to form what is called zygote or zygospore. You can see their fusion. The gamete from the male organism has reached the female organism, and they are fused together, and the zygote is formed. The zygote will have a very thick-walled, there will be a thick-walled zygospore, which is formed in the female conjugate. And this zygospore will later germinate and develop into a new filamentous organism. You can see the new filamentous organism that germinates or arises from the development of zygote or zygospore. So at this point in time, a new organism has been formed through conjugation. Now, the second form of sexual reproduction, that is fusion of gametes. It is the union or fusion of haploid male and female gametes to produce a diploid organism, which is known as zygote. Don't forget the issue of haploid or diploid. The gametes are haploid in nature. When we're looking at growth, I hope we mentioned that in mitosis, a diploid organism is formed. In meiosis, we have a haploid organism. That is, the sex cells are haploid in nature because four daughter cells are formed in meiotic cell division, which occurs in the gonad in the formation of sex cell. So that is why we have haploid male and female gametes, which fuses together, and at the end of the day, they form a diploid organism called zygote. What we are trying to say is that there will be fusion of male and female gametes for the formation of zygote, and this process is called fertilization. When a male and female organism fuses together and a zygote is formed, we say fertilization has taken place, and it is this zygote that will be developed into a new individual. These gametes or sex cells are produced in the gonads. Gonads are the reproductive organs in the male and the female organism. So they are produced in the gonad. The male gametes, called sperm or spermatozoa, are produced in the testes in the process called spermatogenesis. The testis is enclosed inside the scrotum. Don't forget, the testis is inside the scrotum. So we have two testes inside the scrotum, which produces this sex cell, male gametes. While in the female organism, we have the production of eggs or ova. This is produced by the ovary through meiotic cell division, and this is called oogenesis. That is, production of female sex cell is called oogenesis. That is the process. So, which occurs in the ovary of the female organism. These gametes or sex cells will unite together during mating to form zygote, which develop into a new individual. I mean, the male sex cell and the female sex cell will fuse together, and we say fertilization has taken place, and the zygote will be formed, and this zygote will develop into a new organism or offspring. In plants, on the other hand, flowering plants, the flower is the reproductive organ in flowering plants. I mean, flower is the reproductive organ in flowering plants. Now, the male sex cell in plant is called pollen grain, which is produced in the anther of the flower, while the female sex cell is called ovule, that is produced in the ovary. So during pollination, the male sex cell, which is the pollen grain, will land in the stigma, and there will be a tube that carries this pollen grain through the style into the ovary, where ovules are met and fertilization will take place. And at the end of the fertilization that has taken place, the ovule will form seed, while the ovary will form or develop into fruit. And that is a fertilization in plant. We are still going to learn about reproduction in plant, so we are going to understand better what we are trying to say. So, in short, pollen grain and the ovule will fuse together to form zygote, and at the end of the day, the ovule will develop into seed, and the ovary develops into fruit in plant. Reproduction in some organisms. Let's look at some other organisms and see how reproduction takes place in them. The first one is earthworm. Earthworm also reproduces sexually. Mature male and female earthworm will come together and mate. After the mating, sperm are released into the female reproductive organ, and fertilization will occur in the formation of zygote. And it is this zygote that will now develop into a baby earthworm. So the female organism will later lay eggs. After the formation of zygote, the egg will be laid and will hatch into tiny baby earthworm. Reproduction in insects. Insect reproduces through a process called metamorphosis. Metamorphosis, therefore, is a series of gradual changes or development in forms and shape of an insect, from fertilized egg to adult. We are saying that it is a series of gradual development in insects in which the organism develop from egg till it reaches adult stage. We have two types of this process, that is metamorphosis. We have complete metamorphosis and we have incomplete metamorphosis. Incomplete metamorphosis, it is a series of gradual development or changes in insect from fertilized egg to larva, larva to pupa, and finally to adult stage. That means it involves 4 stages. Complete metamorphosis involves 4 stages: egg to larva, larva to pupa, pupa to adult stage. Organisms that undergoes this complete metamorphosis are the mosquito, beetles, housefly, butterfly, bees, wasps, to mention but a few. Let's look at the structure on our screen. That shows the life cycle of a housefly. The eggs are laid in a rotting environment, and then it develops into the larval stage, which is otherwise known as maggot. As you can see, the maggot, the larval stage of a housefly, which are segmented in nature. As you can see, the larval stage having the posterior spiracle, the pad spring, that's the anterior spiracle too, the head, and the anterior hook. That's the larval stage of a mosquito, of housefly. After this is the pupa stage of a housefly. As you can see it inside a case. We have the anterior spiracle, the line of a split, then we have a superior spiracle and transverse ring. So this later will split open, and the adult housefly will come out of the puparia. This is the adult stage, which has been fully developed. Don't forget the insect has three bodies parts: head, thorax, and abdomen. You can see the head. The head, we have the antenna, the compound eye. Then we have the thorax region. Then after the thorax, we have the abdominal region. We have the wings. The organism has three pair of jointed legs and some other structures which make it an insect. So that is the life cycle of housefly, or the first stages of development in housefly, as an example of a complete metamorphosical organism. In incomplete metamorphosis, this is a series of gradual change from egg to nymph, nymph to adult. It involves only three stages, unlike the complete metamorphosis, which has only 4 stages. So egg develops into nymph, nymph develops into adult. We have examples in grasshopper, dragonfly, termite, cockroach, and others. As you can see, the egg stage of the organism, the ootecle, which contains the egg, which will split open later after the development. The organism has fully developed in the ootecle, develop into nymph stage. The nymph stage is wingless. As you can see, it's wingless, and then later the nymph will develop into full-fledged adult cockroach that is having the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. Then it now has wings for flying. So it is also an example of insect as an adult cockroach. So this shows the differences between complete and incomplete metamorphosis. Incomplete metamorphosis, it involves 4 stages, as we have mentioned: egg to larva, larva to pupa, pupa to adult. But in incomplete metamorphosis, only 3 stages are involved: egg to nymph, nymph to adult. Also, there's presence of pupa stage in complete metamorphosis, and the pupa stage is absent in incomplete metamorphosis. Then there's absence of nymph in complete metamorphosis, and nymph is present in incomplete metamorphosis. There's no resemblance between the pupa and adult stage in incomplete metamorphosis. The pupa stage does not resemble the adult at all. But in incomplete metamorphosis, the nymph resembles the adult stage. It's only the wing that is absent, and a few other structures, but they are very much resembled. Lastly, we have the examples of organisms that undergoes complete metamorphosis are different from the organisms that undergo incomplete metamorphosis. So at this point, we are able to explain or differentiate between complete and incomplete metamorphosis. So in the next lesson, we shall look at sexual reproduction in some other organisms. I'm going to send the assignment in the assignment modules. Kindly check through so that you'll be able to attempt your assignment and submit within the period of submission. I pray to Almighty Allah to be with all of us, and we meet in peace by the grace of Almighty Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.